Okay, the time is 7:09 p.m., March 21st, 2025. I cannot talk about the poisonings I go through in here. Okay? I'm forbidden. The gangs, the motorcycle gangs, and the car show, it's auto show is back. It's all the time, but it's back. And this I cannot talk about. I am forbidden from talking about the people who walk these sidewalks and the people who drive these streets of this city. Forbidden. I'm forbidden from talking about anything I witnessed in this house, how horrifying and gory and disgusting it is, but I can't talk about the cannibalism. I'm clear now. There'll be no more having to skip the cannibalism. In the last, like 3 weeks, there's been a handful of cannibalisms. Ooh, more than a handful. I could not report. Like, they eat them regularly. Fire them up, cut into them, and eat them. Make my house smell like living hell. Then they go in the yards at the front, and they go in the back. They make a massive noise as humanly possible. You hear them for blocks like I have described. I am not stretching the truth. Each house takes its turn, one and then the next, sometimes only a few minutes apart. And while they're out there, they yell and yell and yell and yell, but they're insane, crazed, mentally incapacitated fucking cannibals. What do you think they're gonna do? They're violent and deranged psychotics. And then half of the yards that yelled and yelled and yelled and yelled and boomed and bashed as humanly possible, as loud as you can, for 10 fucking minutes straight, 5 fucking minutes straight. They drive right off onto those streets that I'm not allowed to talk about. Or they go out the front door and walk down the sidewalk with all the Russian people that want to stare me down, with their wives all dressed up like Sunday, laughing at me. I am not allowed to talk about my poisoning. Laughing at me. The wives are laughing at me. I wasn't surprised. I've had every type of female laugh at me here. This is the town for those kind of women. I've had black ones. I've had white ones. I've had Chinese ones. I think they were South Korean, but they were Asian. Laugh at me. And laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh at me. The whole time I was poisoned and poisoned and poisoned. I am forbidden from talking about my poisoning. What I am to say is any more TV shows at the Pentagon, I doubt that'll happen, but that's what they do. This compound goes bonkers the whole time. There's a flood of Arabic people or there are Russian people. They like to bring their friends and they stalk and walk by like it's a Disneyland, an amusement park. They come in the droves, D-R-O-V-E-S, droves. Oh, I know what I see. It's always Arabic or white, depends on who is at the Pentagon that day or who is on TV doing this or that at the White House. And they come up here and they walk down. I was supposed to witness the Russians in the alley and the ones in the front. That was why I was ordered to get out now, go out now, all of a sudden. Take your garbage out, pronto. It was wild, but it's not the first time. It's like the millionth time it's happened. So I knew to expect something. That was what it was. Nothing but Russians on the sidewalk and in the alley. Mouthy little fucking Russians. Little white ones. I told the Russians and I told the Americans, you need to get off the TV. People are really sick of you and any more of your countries on the TV, radio, news, and magazines. It's not going to be pretty for any of you. It's not going to be cool, and this is not a place to come and be cool. This is not a place to come and dress up your wives and strut and stroll past a street chemical weapons compound. This is not a place to come and hang out. I told the little Russians and the little Americans, I warned them. It's these two countries that drag the rest of the world into this shit. This country, America, started it. The rich white Americans started this. They got the Russians involved after Saudi Arabia got involved. After 1992. But it's Russia and the United States that are fucking to blame for all of it. So I'm frankly just completely sick of Russia and America. Funny, but my fiance, who is a military officer, is Russian. It doesn't make us get divorced. It doesn't make us call the wedding off. It means I can be honest about how I feel. He has to live with me. And you know what? He feels the same way. He feels the same way. He's sick of Russians and Americans just as much as I am. He's really fucking pissed at Russians. I can't put that in the headline that my fiance, who's in the military, he's a counter-terrorist agent. I can't put that in the headline because this is the first time I ever said it that he's Russian, but he is. I know what he looks like, all that, but I'm never allowed to talk about him. I don't talk about him so much that people think I'm single. No, I'm not. I'm very, very not single. But this is a business thing I do here. I keep it business here. I keep it on my job. So yeah, you probably forget that I have a fucking life and that I plan to get married and I don't like being trapped in a room. I cannot talk about my poisoning. I am forbidden. Okay, so yeah, I'm very sick of Russians and Americans. I keep saying Russian first today because I was bombarded with a fucking goddamn amusement park of Russia when I walked out. And even when I was in my alley. So they come to my head first. I am so fucking sick of Russians and Americans today. And I already warned these little people. I already warned them, get off that fucking TV. People are really fucking sick of you. They're really fucking sick of you. You're not that fucking special, motherfuckers. What fucking swine scum. They're all the same, too. They're all the same. The Russians and the Americans, they're exactly the same. They're swine scum. I don't like Americans and I don't like Russians. I don't have to. Neither does my fiance. So, I'm here. I'm just going to go ahead, since I can't report anything, let the public know. They like to plan their little attacks on the weekend. This is completely run and operated by the Middle East. That is what I will say in the headline. It's not the brightest bunch that's dictating the war. That is because Russia, the country, has taken so many fucking hits on so many goddamn bases. And they write that it's Ukraine. It's not Ukraine going deep into the interior of Russia and blowing up bases that are launched and built under the ground. It is the Russian military blowing up those bases. And those are the same Russians that I will be marrying in the military of Russia, who are sick of Russians just as much as I am. They don't like Russians or Americans either. They're blowing up the bases there. They hate them so much. I don't put it on my account. I'm forbidden. You'll have to look for this yourself. It'll say Ukraine somehow got deep into the interior of Russia under the ground and blew up a base way down under the ground. And there'll be this huge, gigantic seen from space, literally seen from space, glowing orb of fire, and they'll say Ukraine did it. This has happened a million times. If Ukraine wants to take credit for that, let them take credit for that. The planned attacks that Donald Trump and Biden did his entire time down there, and now Trump is doing, he likes to do them on the weekends. Tried it again, this time on TV, like the last time. It's orchestrated or run or directed by the Middle East. That is because of the good guys, who many are Russian, who are just as sick of Russian people as I am. All right? They took out anyone that had any brains. You can see the pictures, this huge seen from space fireballs coming out of Russia. They took out anybody who has brains to not plan attacks that you announce on TV. I warned the Russians and the Americans. People are really fucking sick of you. Get your fucking faces off the TV if you're smart. And people don't want to read about your country anymore. People in the world are really fucking sick of reading about America and fucking Russia. Motherfuckers. They're really fucking sick of you. And that includes Ukraine, but they're really fucking sick of Russia. Why is that? Because Russia was a problem before Ukraine ever happened. United States, Americans was a problem before Ukraine ever happened. People are really fucking sick of you, Americans and Russians. I told you they were. What do? They go on the TV even more. They're so special, the Russians and the Americans are so special. Why don't you come and laugh at me some more? I cannot report my poisonings. I am forbidden from reporting my poisonings. The headline will be that the Middle East is directing all these attacks. What they do is they make the law enforcement spring, S-P-R-I-N-G, they spring them. Go attack. They got all their cops, everybody, law enforcement, every one of them. And they get all the terrorists, like I saw, I couldn't say a word in the yards, screaming and yelling and pounding, and everybody's crawling under the floors, but I'm forbidden from talking about it. Forbidden. And stalking the internet. Do everything you can to go on social media. Even on my social media, they just stalk. And they wait for me to take pictures to put it on. So they come back and stalk some more. And they dig and they crawl. And they poison, but I'm forbidden from talking about it. They scream and yell. Open garage doors, drive in and out, bang and boom, as humanly possibly loud as you fucking can. 1 yard, then the next yard, then the next yard, then the next yard, then the next yard. And this will go on for a good fucking hour because the Middle East has sprung them all. Go attack. You're so special. There's the Middle East organizing this, and they always do a TV show now. Right before they do it, somebody will come on. Now, I want you to remember, Musk is Iran. He's even been in the paper like a million times saying how he works with Iran with all his computer companies. Musk is not an intelligent person. He's highly stupid. And he's so high half the time he cannot even hardly walk. And this is fact. When he's got all his sunglasses and hats, he's really fucking loaded and he can hardly walk straight. He can't do a DUI. He would not pass a DUI. He wouldn't be able to drive. he'd be fucking booked and arrested. So the guy he's not capable of being this genius. And Donald Trump and Musk can't just shut down all the entire government. What you've witnessed since Donald Trump's been in office is so incredibly illegal to have anybody who owns a car company come in and just start taking over with a president who's a felon and a priorly impeached felon mafia man. So I have lost the vocabulary, the English words. But what I found with not being able to speak English hardly at all is that I say little words, but it makes the point. And so it actually gets through to so many more people who might not speak English that well. I'm glad I hardly speak English anymore. So I don't use big words to describe anything. I use little words. And they sit and they stalk and they tell me I can't spell and they insult me. I personally, honestly, cannot even add anymore. I'm so traumatized and poisoned in here, I can't even add 1 + 2. You ask me what 1 + 2 is, and I'm like, oh. You ask me my name, and I'm like, I don't know. I forgot. I mean, I'm the fuck need a break, okay? You don't know how sick of fucking Russians and Americans I fucking am. You don't even know. So, I'm not the one to do the big words anymore. Someday the words will come back. All right? But they organize these attacks. They bring up and they spring all the little terrorists in the sidewalks and the streets. And these people, they go to dance clubs with cannibals. They smile and wave at cannibals. It's all good. I saw a gang of Russians doing it. The white ones are all the same. It doesn't matter where they're from. So are the little Arabic ones. It doesn't matter where they're from. They're all fucking terrorists. Waving and smiling at cannibals. Whatever it takes, right, little terrorist? Whatever it takes, right? All right, so, but you can't do anything that Donald Trump did from the day he made his first headline in the White House. Everything he has done is so huge and big, illegal, so illegal. Nobody who owns a car company can come into the White House with any president and walk in and shut down and do everything and march around like this man Musk. It's called felony capital treason. It's huge, big, illegal. What you've seen is a government overthrow. Okay? And remember, Musk is Iran. Donald is Russia. All right? This war with the world, I'm losing track of where they're at war with because they're schizophrenic. They're so high they can't walk straight. Who will be at war with Donald tomorrow? Besides the Middle East, besides Canada, besides Mexico, besides China, who else? Am I forgetting any? Russia, right? Where I war with, I can't keep up. All right, I'm going to go. Remember, I'm forbidden from talking about my poisonings. Goodbye.